I'd like to call the Tuesday, December 20th, 2016 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Mrs. Butler, would you please take the roll?
Florence. Mumgard. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Klug. Stubbe. Ingberg.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
That is correct.
And a current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. We've got a presentation tonight. Tim Moran is going to help me. We've been doing this each year. You know, we've got the through the Recreation Department, the Papillion Race Series. And we've had some that have been long-standing traditions, and then periodically have added something new. We currently have 6 items that are part of the race series. We have the half marathon, 10K, and 5K, which is all one. The duathlon, we've got the triathlon. One of the newer ones is a kids triathlon. I think it was Andrew Rivera with Bridge Chiropractic was kind of the brains of that, and kids triathlon have become a pretty big thing. The Twilight Criterium, and then the Twilight Dash, which is both a 10K and a 5K. We've got almost 1,700 participants this year, and of those, about 70% were from Nebraska outside of Papillion and Bellevue area. 20% were from Papillion, and about 10% came from outside Nebraska, and that was 22 different states represented in that 10%, including as far away as Hawaii. And actually had 2 participants from outside the country. We had Manitoba and Ontario. Interesting thing is going to these events and talking to the out-of-towners. Did you just happen to come by and you participated? And no, a lot of them are coming here for this event. So they want to get qualification points. They want to get experience. So Papillion's getting to be known as that. And think about that. Those are coming from out of town. They're probably bringing a couple of people with them. They're spending the night in a hotel, going to the restaurants. So it's a pretty big deal there. The participants get points a couple of different ways. For participating, they get points each race, and if they did the whole thing, they get some bonus. And they also get some points for overall performance in their age group and overall. And then the points over the season determine the overall winner. What's incredible, I think, is how all of the departments come together to support this. You go to an event, you'll see the recreation department there, you'll see volunteers from park and facilities, you'll see public works, police, and fire. But we actually have over 300 community volunteers to put it on as well. And I think that's one of the things that I hear consistently from the participants is how many people are here working in these races, how organized they are, and how safe they feel. So again, thanks, Tim, for everything you do to pull that together. What we want to do tonight, though, is recognize the 2016 champions. We have 5 of them. One will be for age 10 and under, 11 to 14, 15 to 19, and then the overall female and the overall male. We're going to start with the young ones. The youth age group 10 and under, Savannah Smidra. Savannah, if you want to go ahead and come up. Savannah is from Papillion, and she also won in 2015. She completed the 5K course in the half marathon and the 5K course in the Twilight Dash and finished first place in her age group. Savannah. (11 to 14), Connor Smidra, also a Papillion, and completed the 10K in the half marathon, finished first place in his age group, and completed the 10K in the Twilight Dash, and also got first place in that. Connor. Coincidental, the same last name. Age 15 to 19, Aaron Stahl, and Aaron is from Bellevue. Completed the 10K course in the half marathon, first place in his age group. Completed the Papillion Days duathlon with second place. Finished the triathlon in second place, and the 10K and the Twilight Dash, and finished first place. He wasn't able to make it, but his dad came to represent him. So thank you again, Aaron. Overall female, Sarah Stahl, completed the half marathon, the Papillion Days duathlon, got second place in that, finished the triathlon in first place for her age group, and also did the 10K in the Twilight Dash and got first place in that. So Sarah, thank you. Thank you. And Nathan Stahl, overall male. Same last name, all of Bellevue. Completed the half marathon, second place in his age group, finished the duathlon, second place in his age group, did the triathlon, got third place in his age group, did the 10K and the Twilight Dash, and finished second place as well. Nathan, thank you again. Thank you. So of about 1,700 participants, those were the 5 winners. 2 families represented the whole thing, and they're all from Sarpy County. So something going on with community wellness. And Tim, thank you very much for all you do to put it together. Do you want to say anything? Mr. Hoynes, Administrator's Report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Begin my report this evening. Several meetings ago, we actually, you had sent back for a rebid the fencing on Schramm Road. We did rebid that. We got one bid again, and it actually increased in cost during that time, but we are going to run that back up for your consideration. As part of it, we did ask for an alternate bid where the city engineer went through and identified areas he thought were most important for various types and sizes of fence, and that it is a reduced cost. If you have any concerns between now and the time we bring that up at the next council meeting, you'd like to talk to either Jeff or myself about those on the direction, but that's what you'll be staring down on that issue, and wanted to put that on your radar. Also, in the next couple of weeks, you'll be getting, well, probably the next couple of days, you'll be getting a notice of a couple of committee assignments. The first committee assignment will be the a review of the camper motorhome regulations. Will be going to Public Safety Committee on January 3rd. Just finished up that agenda and paperwork late this afternoon. While it's referred to just one committee, we are going to make that available to all council members for review so that you all have equal information in that. Also, there will be a referral in the very near future to review the operational budget for the proposed community center on Lincoln Road. That'll be going to Finance and Administration. If I didn't mention, the first one will be going to Public Safety. Also on the January 3rd Public Safety, we'll be making our staff recommendations to the Public Safety Committee on how to address the noise ordinance issues we've been struggling with here for several months, and hopefully that committee will make a final recommendation and send it to the full council. I think the time frame that I identified was by early to mid-March. Is that correct, Carla, I think, for the noise ordinance coming in there? Again, while these things are vetted at committee, I would encourage all 8 elected officials, if you're on an off committee, to either contact the chairman or myself, and we can get that information to you so that you have the equal information when you're asked as a council member of the whole to make a final decision. But those final decisions on those 2 issues will be coming up very, very soon. A couple of final things, Mr. Mayor. You've all noticed the, I will call it the renovations or modifications down on the first floor of City Hall. We anticipate those will be in effect by early February, no later than mid-February. As a council member, you'll still have the same level of access that you have with a key code at any given time. And also one of the substantive changes is that the east parking lot will be restricted to resident parking. City staff will park down on 3rd Street and some other areas, so that because that's the only community access, we want to free that up. Building vehicles still stay on the south side, but there's plenty, I think, others in there, and we'll try that. So, and that information will be going out in, I think, the next water bill letter, a little bit of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And finally, conclude, Mr. Mayor, by advising the council that Ms. Ruth Piper, the city attorney, did sign the paperwork, and I think we're the official owners of Emmanuel property as part of the community center update. I know that we've all, that's been a 3 steps forward, 2 steps back process for about 2 years now, but credit to Emmanuel. They were very good to work with, and I think it's going to make a greater area for all of us in there. Concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Stube. Do we have any proponents? Mr. Ingberg.
Can I pull C4?
C4 we will pull. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote on everything except C4.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item C4, Resolution R160184, a resolution to renew the maintenance agreement number 106 with the State of Nebraska Department of Roads for the period of January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Councilman Stube. Second by Councilman Glover. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Council discussion, Mr. Ingberg.
The only reason I ask you to be pulled, I know the answer to my question already, but I do want to ask the city engineer, just for the record, that this agreement does not include from the state any assistance or any funding for the overpass in any fashion. And I want to make sure that we're clear that it doesn't include anything to do with that. The state is not participating. Also, if something were to happen to the bridge over the Papillion Creek, if we discover anything, that is not covered as well, correct?
Mr. Hoynes.
If I may, Councilmember Engberg, and then if you need further engineering clarification, Mr. Thompson, certainly free to answer. You are correct. It does not include any funding for the overpass. What I wanted to add is that we are in the process of trying to identify with the state, and we're making that ask for the overpass. And we're asking for clarification on why they won't do that, because their initial answer has been no, we're not going to do any assistance with that overpass. So as that process moves forward, we hope to have more clarification. We haven't given up on the ask. I think it's an appropriate ask. But as those things move forward, but this is separate and has to be approved by the end of the year. Strictly has to do with the state reimbursing us for plowing their roads, and if we don't pass this, they're not going to pay us to plow the roads that are in here. And so certainly cousins, but we'll address the other one as we continue to go.
I just want to make sure that we are aware that that's not part of this. It's just a maintenance of the existing roadway. Existing roadway show. Thank you.
Mr. Mumgard.
Well, okay, just to build on that, just to take the other side of the coin, am I correct to understand that this agreement does not in any way preclude, prohibit, stand in the way of state funding to replace that overpass? Correct?
That is correct.
But that's an open question. The state can still pay for it regardless of what's said in this agreement.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item F1, Resolution R160193, a resolution to approve the following 2017 trash hauling applications. We'll take it all as one agenda item unless there's an objection. Number 1 is Abe's Trash Service, Inc. Number 2 is Gretna Sanitation. Number 3 is Metro Disposal and Recycling, Inc. Number 4 is Papillion Sanitation. Number 5 is Premier Waste Solutions. Number 6, Waste Management of Nebraska. Number 7, Waste Services of Nebraska, LLC. There should be a representative from every one of the companies here tonight if there's any questions. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160193? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next is item F2, Resolution R160194, a resolution to approve a real estate purchase agreement for the purchase of undeveloped real property consisting of approximately 25 acres located east of 96th and Walnut Creek and north of West Lincoln Street, Papillion, Nebraska, generally described as that part of Tax Lot 14B1, referenced as Tax Lot 14B1A, Section 27, Township 14 North, Range 12 East, lying east of the center line of Walnut Creek, together with all of Tax Lot B, Section 28, Township 14 North, Range 12 East, Sarpy County, Nebraska, for the future expansion of City Park. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160194? Motion by Councilman Stubbe, second by Councilman Florence. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item F3, Resolution R160192. This is a public hearing and a vote. A resolution to approve a comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use map to reflect the future land use designations adopted by Sarpy County in 2015 for the Highway 50 and Highway 370 sub-area. The sub-area has a northern boundary of Highway 370, an eastern boundary of 132nd Street, a southern boundary of Capehart Road, and a western boundary of I-80. Sarpy County Land Use Map Amendment. This is a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? And if you'd state your name for the record.
I don't know if I'm a proponent or opponent. I just have some questions. I own some land there on Schramm Road there on 156th. And I know you're adopting the proposal from the Sarpy County Board, but I've noticed you made a few changes. You've kind of added the boulevard there. You've extended that from 144th Highway 50 all the way up through Schramm, and you put in some major trails in there. And so my question kind of is, you know, I don't think they're permanent, but are these like conceptual to show future connectivity of that area, all these roads and stuff like that? Or is that just a long-range view, or is this set in stone?
Mr.
Kind of a
Sturzma.
question. I don't know if that's right. Or question.
And I'll be a little careful because we have a lot of public hearings. Public hearings generally not for a Q&A, so if you're not satisfied with the answer you get, we'll set up a follow-up. But Mr. Sturzma, that is a good educational question. Can you give a general overview?
Sure. So the plan that we're adopting is identical to what Sarpy County has already adopted for that area.
Correct, but I noticed you've added those, the trails and the boulevard and stuff like that going. I just didn't know.
We just to confirm, we didn't add anything or change anything from what the
anything.
county adopted. This is identical to what Sarpy County adopted. I think it was in 2015 when
Correct.
we
Right.
worked with them on this plan. They adopted it, and when we annexed and this fell into our jurisdiction, we're now adopting that same plan to give consistency to the landowners that are in
Well,
the
and I
area.
kind of had the same question when that came up with them, and that's what they kind of said. It was just kind of conceptual kind of a thing. It's not really a.
So to answer the second part of your question, the plan is conceptual.
Okay.
It is able to be amended, and it is able to be, interpreted in a way that is not literal. It's not an engineered, master plan or anything like that. It's a conceptual plan of how we think development would and should occur. But it's
Just kind of
don't put a
depending on
caliper to it and measure things to.
kind of depending on the development of the area, kind of things kind of dictate some of that too. Then, right?
It's the guide decisions.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you answering my questions. I'm sorry.
And
did this incorrectly,
if that
but-
wasn't detailed enough and you need some specifics, we'd be happy to set up a meeting for you and go
No,
into
I
detail
just-
as well.
Okay.
Just let us know.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any other opponents or neutral? I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Do we have a motion to approve Resolution R160192? Motion. Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. The next 12 items are all related to Power Park East and West, the Raven project. Item F4, Ordinance 1750, an ordinance to approve the change of zone of certain real property within the zoning jurisdiction of the City of Papillion, Sarpy County, Nebraska, legally described as a tract of land located in the southwest corner of Section 1, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northeast corner of Highway 50 and Capehart Road from agricultural AG to mixed-use MU, to amend the official zoning map of the City of Papillion by changing the zoning district boundaries of the zoning map in accordance with Section 20532 of the Papillion Municipal Code and provide for an effective date. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1750? Motion by Councilman Klug. Second by Councilman Stube. We also want an amendment. Is there a motion to amend Ordinance 1750 to add language to place a condition to the change to the official zoning map for Sarpy County Power Park East, that in the event the final plat expires and is not recorded with the Sarpy County Register of Deeds, that the zoning will remain agricultural? Is there a motion to amend? Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilman Glover. Are there any proponents on the motion to amend? Are there any opponents? Any council discussion on the motion to amend? Please vote.
Eight yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is amended. Is there any council discussion? Please vote on the motion as amended.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F5, Resolution R16-0198. A resolution to approve the final plat for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the southwest quarter of Section 1, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska. Generally located on the northeast corner of Highway 50 and Capehart Road. The applicant is Sarpy County Economic Development Corporation. It's Sarpy County Power Park East. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R16-0198? Motion by Councilman Stube. Second by Councilman Florence. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F6, Resolution R16-0199. A resolution to approve the Sarpy County Power Park East Subdivision Agreement. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R16-0199? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F7, Resolution R16-0200. Resolution to approve the Sarpy County Power Park East Mixed Use Development Agreement. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R16-0200? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F8, Resolution R16-0201. A resolution to approve a filing extension until December 20th, 2017 for the Power Park East final plat for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the southwest quarter of Section 1, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northeast corner of Highway 50 and Capehart Road. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R16-0201? Motion by Councilman Klug. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F9, Ordinance 1751. An ordinance to approve the change of zone of certain real property within the zoning jurisdiction of the City of Papillion, Sarpy County, Nebraska, legally described as a tract of land located in the southeast quarter of Section 2, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northwest corner of Highway 50 and Capehart Road from agricultural AG to mixed-use MU, to amend the official zoning map of the City of Papillion by changing the zoning district boundaries of the zoning map in accordance with Section 20532 of the Papillion Municipal Code, and to provide for an effective date. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1751? Motion by Councilman Stube. Second by Councilman Glover. We'll have the same motion on this parcel. The motion to amend Ordinance 1751 to add language to place a condition to the change to the official zoning map for Sarpy County Power Park West, that in the event that the final plat expires and is not recorded with Sarpy County Register of Deeds, the zoning will remain agricultural. Is there a motion to amend? Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilman Gaines. Do you have any proponents on the motion to amend? Any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote on the motion to amend.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion is amended. Do we have any council discussion on the amended motion? Please vote on the motion as amended.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
So we'll run through the same series of items on this parcel. Item F10, Resolution R160202, a resolution to approve the final plat for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the southeast quarter of Section 2, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northwest corner of Highway 50 and Capehart Road. The applicant is the Sarpy County Economic Development Corporation. This is the Sarpy County Power Park West. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160202? Motion by Councilman Florence. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F11, Resolution R160203, a resolution to approve the Sarpy County Power Park West subdivision agreement. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160203? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Glover. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F12, Resolution R160204, a resolution to approve the Sarpy County Power Park West mixed-use development agreement. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160204? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F13, Resolution R160205, a resolution to approve a filing extension until December 20th, 2017 for the Sarpy County Power Park West final plat for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the southeast quarter of Section 2, Township 13 North, Range 11 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northwest corner of Highway 50 and Capehart Road. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160205? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F14, Resolution R160206, a resolution to approve an interlocal agreement with Sarpy County relating to the city's contribution of ASIP fees to Sarpy County for the construction of specific public road improvements for the Sarpy County Power Park East Development Project. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160206? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Florence. Do we have proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F15, Resolution R160207, a resolution to approve an interlocal cooperation agreement with Sarpy County relating to the city's contribution of ASIP fees to Sarpy County for the construction of specific public road improvements for the Sarpy County Power Park West Development Project. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R160207? Motion by Councilman Klug. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. It's all the regular agenda items. Do we have any, I don't think any committees have met. Just a reminder, new committee assignments were made. They were handed out at the last council meeting, so if you've got questions on those, let me know. Tried to honor everybody's request for what they wanted to be on. Only made a couple of minor changes to make sure every ward was represented on every committee. That wasn't true last time. So if you got questions, let me know on that. Mr. Hoynes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for allowing me to go off script for just a moment here. There was such detail and so many agreements here that at least from the public's perspective, I wanted to point out too that I think it was early last year, Mr. Rainbow stopped in the office and said, hey, we got this really cool project going on. And I've spent multiple hours with you individually, everything from annexations to jurisdictional issues to stuff. But the time that I spent, or that you spent, quite frankly, pales in comparison to the folks that really made this happen. So I'd mentioned before previously, I think, that Miss Rupiper, 1 a.m. meetings, Miss Romeo from planning, certainly, and then Mark leading that. But there's some people out there in the crowd tonight that probably don't even want me to point them out, but I will. On the other side, that were really key contributors to bringing this potentially to Sarpy County. Certainly, Andrew. So, he's been kind of the point person there. So thank you, Andrew. This was complicated. There were many days where we didn't think it would make it. Just his left, and you could raise your hand, Eric Galley, Eric Olson Associates, the engineer for the project. Bright young man, I'm sure doing as many hours as our staff is. Legal representation for Raven, Dave Madden, if you raise your hand, Dave, and then Lee Homan behind representing. I think there's one point I said I was in a room with like 8 or 9 attorneys and really questioning. You remember that meeting? I think where I said, you guys are killing me here. But they got through it, and then finally Mark Norman from the Greater Omaha Chamber. It's those folks and their countless hours that lifted. I don't think that many of you had a chance. You knew we had a change in our legal staff. So I'm actually going to ask her to stand up. Amber, who transitioned over from planning to now she's the staff attorney working with Carla. And Carla's writing her name down and pointing there. She was there by her side by side going through that. And it's kind of her first shot. Probably be the biggest project you'll ever work on, Amber, on both sides. But again, for not just for the public, the elected officials, be remiss if I didn't point those folks out, because it doesn't happen if they're not problem solvers and they try to get the right thing done. A lot of interest to be satisfied. So I guess on behalf of our staff in here, we thank you folks and look forward to actually digging a hole here sometime in the near future. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Stubbe.
Thank you, Mayor. And Dan, I'm glad you brought that up, because I just leaned over to Jeff and indicated, that there's a lot of stuff that was on our agenda tonight that we approved, and there's a lot of stuff that's probably been done behind the scenes. So I'm going to ask the speculative question to Andrew or Mark. When's the grading permit being taken out?
I don't know if I should answer that or not, but I wanted to, thanks, Councilman Stubbe. I wanted to echo Dan's comments, and I was going to take the time from the floor there. So I know Mark's staff and Carla and her staff, or lack thereof, have spent literally it's an amazing job, and we're very proud to represent Papillion in this process. So we're very hopeful and feeling pretty confident that we'll be able to make some announcements here in the near future. We've got a few other agreements we need to ink. But we got the sewer agreement in place this afternoon at the county, which will, when we land this project, will open up that Highway 50 corridor, and will really be that first phase in the southern sewer solution that we're seeking here. So it'll be a great first step. But we're hopeful we won't be doing it while the ground's frozen. But we're hopeful that once it gets thawed out, we can start moving some dirt. There's a lot of work that'll need to be done, and a lot of work that still needs to be done behind the scenes after tonight. But this is a big step for us in landing this project. And thank you for your participation and your time and effort. So, thank you.
Appreciate it. And one that wasn't mentioned was Sarpy County. A lot of times people look at city-county and think sometimes that's a contentious relationship. We actually have a very good and healthy relationship, and I think it really showed in this as well. A lot of trust and cooperation with the county as well, so just want to thank them as part of it as well. Any comments from the floor? Any other council comments? Just a few things from the last couple of weeks. Met with Randy Schmalzold, the president of Metro Community College. If any of you knew Jim Grotran, number 2 person at Metro, he moved on to a new position at Bellevue University. So Randy wanted to meet and just make sure we still had a good relationship and that they're committed to the Sarpy County site. They're moving into some strategic planning about what they're going to do with that site, and they're going to keep us updated and probably keep us involved, probably through Mark as the primary point of contact. Ms. Myers, Ms. Sims, and I have met with a couple of library board candidates, and we've got some more applications in, and they're weeding through those. Hope maybe late January we'll bring forth a name for appointment to the library board. Good qualified people that are interested in that. Also had the Sarpy County Economic Development Annual Meeting, and then we had a couple of ribbon cuttings, another one downtown in the Bell Shops, Essential Sensations, which is a first-time business owner, Papillion resident, somebody that just had an idea, needed a place to launch it, and that those downtown small spaces at low cost are becoming the place to open up businesses, test an idea. If it takes off, great, move to a better spot. If it doesn't, you didn't take massive risks. So I think that's serving a real purpose of starting small business. And the Bell Shops is fully leased out right now. Had a couple of DARE graduations as well, Prairie Queen, Hickory Hill, and Carriage Hill. I think we're probably done with DARE graduations for a while. But that's a great cooperative program as well with the 6th grade. Mr. Moran, Mr. Hoynes, and I met with another business leader that's in the fitness arena about some cooperative partnerships in the community with a for-profit business. And then Mr. Chief Lyons and Mr. Hoynes and myself met with the FBI on a couple of cooperative task forces that they've got, and maybe some ways we can be playing a better role to have good communication at the federal level with the FBI. That was most of the updates. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Gaines, second by Councilman Glover. Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
We're adjourned. Merry Christmas. See you next year.